4 San Antonio starts right now.
Right now, police are questioning several people after a San Antonio police homicide detective was shot at just a couple of hours ago. The shooting happened on Rainbow Drive, just a few doors down from where a man was murdered last night. News 4 San Antonio's Ashley King has the details new tonight.
That is what San Antonio police are still trying to figure out. What we do know is one man was shot here last night in the 200 block of Rainbow Drive, and tonight another person opened fire on an SAPD homicide detective's car. Now, this started around 6 p.m. when a homicide detective was following up on last night's murder. Police tell us the detective was in plain clothing and an unmarked car when he pulled into a driveway. SAPD tells us someone came out of that house and pointed a gun at the detective, and when the detective tried to leave, that person opened fire on the detective's car, hitting it at least once. We're told the detective is okay tonight. Now, after that shooting, police say 2 people ran away from the scene. Our cameras were there as one of those men was arrested. Police on the scene say that man claims he was not the one who opened fire on the detective's car. Now, investigators say the second person who ran away from the scene was also arrested. 3 people were inside the house. They were also taken in for questioning.
He had a general description of a location, and so that's what he was following up on. And it just so happened that he had pulled up into the driveway area to get off the street and was going over some notes. And then that's when the individual came out of the residence and started shooting at the vehicle that he was in.
As for last night's shooting, police say 30-year-old Matthew Winkleman was killed. Witnesses told police Winkleman was arguing with 2 men when one of them shot him in the chest. Now, police are still trying to determine if these 2 shootings are connected. Of course, we'll keep you updated on news4sa.com. On the northeast side, Ashley King, News 4 San Antonio.
And tonight, police are searching for these 2 men. They're connected to the deadly shooting on the east side on Martin Luther King Day. Arrest warrants have now been issued for Jack A. Howard and Adrian Perkins. Police tell us Edwin Jones, who's the man they've already arrested in that shooting, confessed, saying that he drove Howard and Perkins to that car wash on North New Braunfels that night. And according to the arrest warrant, all 3 then opened fire on a crowd of people there. 2 men were killed, 5 others injured. If you know where Howard or Perkins are, call police. And a man's in the hospital tonight and facing attempted capital murder charges after deputies shot him twice in the chest, but only, they say, after he fired at them first. Deputies were serving an arrest warrant for 23-year-old Julian Sanchez this morning off Rosillo and Martin on the west side. Investigators tell us that Sanchez fired a shot at the deputies from inside the home, so the deputies then opened fire and hit him twice in the chest. Now, Sanchez was wanted for multiple warrants, including an aggravated assault on a police officer charge. He's now in stable condition at University Hospital.
So my son picked up the bat and told Robert, "You're not going to hit my mama, man."
A mother says her son came to her rescue this morning when her boyfriend tried to attack her. And tonight, that boyfriend is in the hospital fighting for his life. News 4 San Antonio's Melissa Vega joins us live downtown with the woman's exclusive story. Melissa?
According to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, the suspect in this case is 65-year-old Robert Benson. We're told he's facing an aggravated assault charge. Investigators say once Benson is released from the hospital, he will be brought here to the Bexar County Jail. And hospital officials tell me tonight that Benson is listed in critical but stable condition. Crime scene tapes around Shirley Collins' Bexar County home off Highway 87 around 7 this morning.
I don't know what it was.
Shirley says she was asleep when her boyfriend, 65-year-old Robert Benson, came into her home. She said they'd had an argument the day before.
Robert was trying to attack me. Robert texted me a lot. He did it a lot.
Shirley says her son Howard happened to be staying with her last night, and when Robert heard her son's voice asking if she was okay.
I don't think Robert realized that he was here. And then Robert just picked up the bat and went in there and started hitting on him.
Shirley says she doesn't know why Robert went after her son with a baseball bat, but her son had no choice but to defend himself.
Then my son kicked him a couple times and got the baseball bat and hit him back.
At that point, Shirley says Robert took out a knife.
Howard thought he was going to stab me, or he was going to stab Howard.
Bexar County Sheriff investigators say Shirley's son ended up hitting Robert Benson multiple times with the bat Robert first attacked him with. Shirley says her son did get a gash on his head, but will be okay. As for Robert, he was taken to SAMC in an ambulance, and at the time, he was unconscious.
My baby's going to be okay. God got him. And I'm afraid God got Robert.
And as for Shirley's son, sheriff investigators say at this point he won't be facing any charges, and investigators believe he did nothing wrong. Reporting live from the sheriff's office tonight, Melissa Vega, News 4, San Antonio.
Thanks, Melissa. A man in his 40s is dead after trying to cross Pleasanton Road on the south side tonight. It happened just a couple of hours ago. We're told that an elderly couple hit him. He was not crossing at a crosswalk, and they say it seems to be just a tragic accident. The couple is not facing any charges. We've also learned the name of the woman who was killed yesterday when a truck veered off a road off 281, landed upside down about 30 feet below. It was 18-year-old Jocelyn Markham who died yesterday afternoon when her pickup truck landed on its roof underneath 281 in Bassey. Her sister, 21-year-old Noemi Markham, was in that pickup with her. She's now in University Hospital in critical condition. Police say alcohol does not appear to have been a factor in that crash.
A former Northside science teacher has been arrested, accused of having a relationship with an underage student.
I think everyone in school knew about this, because every time that I went to tutoring, like after school or in the mornings with him, she was always there with him, and they were like best friends, you know what I mean?
Students at Clark High School say they knew there was something inappropriate going on between 30-year-old Gilby Sinaiz and the 17-year-old student. He resigned last December when confronted about the relationship, but charges weren't filed until now. This is at least the third local teacher arrested this year for having an inappropriate relationship with a student.
Officers with the police department up in Kyle near Austin came to San Antonio today to salute Samantha Dean. She was a Judson High School and UTSA grad who was found shot to death up in Bastrop last week. She was a victims services advocate with the Kyle Police Department, and what makes this loss even more heartbreaking, she was 7 months pregnant. She had already named her daughter Madeline. In the meantime, the investigation into her death, what happened to her, continues as investigators believe it was a police officer in Austin who was the father of her unborn baby. He is on paid leave right now, has not been named as a suspect. We have also learned that officers from other departments are also being questioned.
Right now, CPS Energy is working to install smart meters in homes around San Antonio.
But some feel the fees associated with opting out of that policy is unfair, so they are trying to take a bold step against those smart meters.
News 4 San Antonio's Aaron Nichols joins us to explain what the group is doing. Aaron?
The group of residents live in Alamo Heights, and today they presented a petition that would allow those people who don't want smart meters to opt out free of charge.
We would just like the choice to opt out and not be penalized for that choice.
This group of Alamo Heights residents is working to change their city charter.
We got 450 signatures within a week.
If approved, the amendment would give city leaders the power to regulate CPS Energy's smart meter policy. Residents who don't want a smart meter installed on their property could opt out of the program at no cost.
It was amazing how many people, residents, are opposed to these meters already.
CPS Energy's opt-out policy allows homeowners to choose a non-communicating meter over a smart meter, which uses radio frequency transmissions. However, most of those who opt out must pay a one-time $175 fee and an extra $20 a month.
That makes it similar to a forced installation.
The group says they've come across alarming reports concerning the potential of house fires to result from smart meter installations and the low energy radiation emitted from the technology.
And we feel that smart meters are a threat to our health, our home. They're a huge fire risk, and our safety.
CPS Energy released a statement saying, quote, the franchise agreement with Alamo Heights, along with guidelines from the Public Utility Commission, allow us to make decisions that help provide our customer service that is affordable, reliable, and safe. It would be unfair for other customers to shoulder the financial costs of a few. The petition will now be reviewed by the city secretary before going to city leaders.
We hope it will be on the ballot.
Two representatives from the League of United Latin American Citizens were also there today. They said they are going to look at creating a similar petition here in San Antonio. Aaron Nichols, News 4, San Antonio.
A trip to the ER is something most never planned for, even though almost everyone ends up there at some point in their life. Regardless of the medical reason, a visit to the hospital can be costly. That's why many of us have health insurance. But as it turns out in Texas, those policies may not save us from the second emergency that can hit once you leave the ER.
It's like it's a roll of the dice as to what's going to happen to you, even if you ask all the right questions.
Monday night at 10, the troubleshooters exposed something called balance billing and explained why it's one of the fastest growing healthcare problems in Texas.
And still ahead on 4 tonight, a soldier's love story after an Army sergeant was severely wounded in Afghanistan. Well, his wife stepped up.
When there's an issue, we just have to ask him many questions until we hit the right one, and then he'll or no.
And we'll show you who else is stepping up now to help that couple currently confined to a second-floor apartment.
Live look outside. We're at 62 degrees at this hour. We're kind of warm. Why? I'm going to explain why and how that could impact your weather tomorrow morning when I come back.